If you are like me that are a little bit obsessed with Target dollar spot, this is the video for you. I have 4 decor hacks perfect for fall that I know you're going to love. So stay tuned. All right, for this DIY, we are going to take one of these little houses that I recently got at the Target dollar spot. And I think the Target dollar spot is now called Bullseye Playground. Am I correct? Let me know in the comments if that's correct. And anyways, it brought 3 in a pack for $5, and this is the larger of the 3, and that's exactly, I'm just going to use this one, just this one for now. I'm going to take this fabric that I recently got also at Hobby Lobby, and I am going to place it on one corner, leaving the frayed part towards the bottom of the house. Using a pencil, I traced it. This is just to give you an idea. If you don't have cutting tools like this rotary cutter, then you can certainly just trace it and cut it with scissors. But I had this tool from Cricut and I thought I'm going to use it, and it worked out perfectly. And the little chimney part was in the way, so I just flipped it over and it allowed me to cut that side as well. So I just make sure that it was as close to the edge as possible, but I'm not even going to cut off the frayed portion of the bottom because I love how it looks. Using this tacky glue from the Dollar Tree, I am just going to place quite a bit amount on it, and then using my fingers, I am just going to spread it. Don't they say that the best tools that you have are in your hands, right? I think that's true, actually. So these, I'm just basically just spreading it very thinly as possible, so that they are not big clumps of glue. And then I am just going to place the fabric right on top. Now there's no rush because this glue takes just a little bit to dry. So if you're ever using it, know that you can always move it around. Like there, I was just adjusting the edges, making sure everything was nicely covered. But it worked out well. And then I'm going to take these little grateful wooden word. I got these at Hobby Lobby. They come, I believe it was 6 in a pack, and I had thankful, grateful, blessed, 2 of each. And I'm just going to hot glue it to the center of the house, and I'm going to tilt it. So it's not going to be completely straight. It's just going to have quite a little bit of a tilt. And then on the bottom of that tilt, so on the larger space on the bottom, I'm going to use some of these little acorns and pine cones that I got at Hobby Lobby. It comes a ton in this bag, and it was like $5.99, but I got it at 40% off. I'm going to take the white one and a little pine cone. I'm just going to hot glue them to the bottom there. And that's it, guys. This one is such an easy one, such a quick way of adding like a little bit of a detail to your fall mantle or a console table or in the kitchen even, or even a tier tray. I think it will look great in a tier tray. For this next DIY, I am going to take this wreath. This was actually from last season's Christmas. I got it at the Target dollar spot. It was $3 and I kept it. I never did anything with it, so we're going to reuse it today. I am going to remove the hanging ribbon that it had, and then I'm just going to spread out the branches just a little bit. This is going to add the illusion that it's a little bit of a larger wreath than what it actually is. Then I'm going to take some of these flowers that I got at Hobby Lobby, and I'm just going to cut out 3 of them. We're going to stay with a theme of 3s here. You're going to notice throughout as we continue to build this fall wreath. I'm going to bend the remaining stem that I cut off, and I'm going to just thread it through one of the branches, and I'm going to take some crafting wire, just flexible wire, and I'm just going to tighten it, and I'm going to do that with all 3 flowers. I also got these little picks from Hobby Lobby, and I just thought they were perfect for this wreath. And I'm going to leave the pick just, or the stem, just the size that it came, and I'm going to thread it right through the same wire that I tightened the flower with. And then the remaining stem, I'm just going to wrap around the wreath. And then I'm just going to thread the flower part, or like the little feathery flower part, towards the front, just like that. That way it's in the front. And I took all three of them and used them, and I did it right next to each flower. Now we're going to add a little bit of color. I got these at Hobby Lobby as well, and I believe they were $5.99, 40% off. There are these 4 faux leather leaves, and I thought they were beautiful. And I'm just going to start again using 3 of them, and I'm just going to start hot gluing them all around until I kind of see what I like. So I'm just kind of keeping a pattern, but not too perfectly, because I want it to look natural. I'm now going to add some of these blue Dollar Tree flowers that I got recently in their fall collection. And I'm going to cut out 3 little stems. And again, I'm just going to start hot gluing them right in the center of each, like in between the flower and the leaf kind of thing. And again, just making sure that I like what I see, where I place them. And there's no right or wrong way. You just want to follow your instincts and just make it look as natural as possible. At this point, I realized that I don't have a quite figured out which part of the wreath is like the top or the bottom. So I decided to take the ribbon that I'm going to use to hang it, and then that way I can identify where the top is. Because when you're making a wreath, if you've ever made a wreath, you know that there's usually a spot that you kind of say, yeah, that's the top of it. I don't know if that makes sense. So I found it. I added a piece of the ribbon, threaded through in between the top and the flowers, and then I just knotted it. So now I'm going to add some of these larger pine cones. I got a huge bag at Hobby Lobby, again 40% off. And I'm just going to hot glue them right in between all the florals. And again, just kind of adding them separately, it doesn't have to be in the same spot, but they just have to be evenly dispersed so that it's pleasing to the eye. And at this point, I was thought, am I done? Should I leave it? And then I said, you know what? I got this Gather galvanized sign from the Target Dollar Spot last season, and I never used it, and I found it in my Target Dollar Spot box, and I thought, perfect. So I added some, again, crafting flexible wire to each end, and then I am going to thread it all through the flowers, and then I am going to tighten it in the back. I considered hot gluing it, but I thought it would kind of like weigh down some of the leaves and flowers, so I thought using wire was the best option. So again, I'm just going to add 2 of the wires, 1 on each end, and then twist them, and then I'm just going to thread them through the flowers all the way to the back, and that way I can tighten them and twist them in the back, and it looks like it's been placed and it's not weighing down the arrangement. Once I had it where I wanted it, now I'm just going to arrange the flowers. So naturally it flattened out some of the florals, but now I'm just going to fluff it and bring forward anything that I need to bring forward, and just kind of fix the flowers. So that way it looks natural and it looks put together. Look how beautiful this wreath is. Now it's on the smaller side because it was already a small wreath from the Target dollar spot, but it just served as a perfect wreath for any additional detail to any decor, and I love it. For this next DIY, we are going to head to the side of my house, and please don't mind the mess. But I found this stick. Look how awesome this stick is, and I actually thought it was going to take me longer to find one, and it was right there as I entered the gate. So we brought it in, and I am going to cut a piece of it because we are going to make a pumpkin. Now this round wood portion, it's from a tier tray from the Target dollar spot. It was $5. I got it last year and I used it as a tier tray, and then I didn't need it anymore, so I removed the round parts, and I still have another one actually. So I drilled a hole on the end of the stick that I cut out. And by the way, the tool that I used to cut out the stick is on my Amazon store as well. It's awesome. And I also drilled a hole on the top of the round wooden piece. And then I'm just going to add hot glue and a skewer stick right inside. I use this trick all the time because it works really well. Then I'm going to add hot glue into the hole on the stick as well, and then just press it right in. That way it's going to be nicely secure and it's not going to go anywhere. It actually works really, really well. You're going to think the stick is a little big. It is. But I did it purposely because I am going to add a lot of like flowers and stuff. And I just thought if I make it smaller, it's either going to cover the stick or cover a lot of the pumpkin, like a lot of the round portion. And I didn't want that. So I'm going to take one of those faux fall leaves. Faux leather, there it is, faux leather leaves, and I am going to hot glue it right there where the stick and the wood round meet. And then I'm going to take some of these flowers from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to cut. First I thought I needed two, but I ended up using just one. I cut off the stem and hot glued it on there as well. Now I'm going to take one of those acorns. This time I'm going to take a green one, and I'm just going to hot glue it on the opposite side of the flower. I just think it added a little bit of a cute little detail. And I'm also going to add a larger pine cone, and I think that was perfect. Then I'm just going to keep adding things as I see fit. So if you're doing things like this, just keep going slowly, just add as you see fit. And my advice is, for me, it always works to just once you feel in your heart it's done, it's done. Don't keep adding because you can ruin something by just keep adding and adding and adding. But that's just my advice. I added a little pick from the Dollar Tree, and look how stunning. This was part of a tier tray, guys. Seriously. I didn't need the tier tray, but I kept the wood rounds, and I'm so glad I did. And I still have another one. We'll see what I do with that one. For this next DIY, we are going to take one of these 1x3s. I think it's a 1x3. It looks like a 1x3. Maybe it's a 1x4. I don't know. I had it. I found it in the hardware store in the scrap wood area. It was a longer piece, and I cut it in half. And I am going to use it to make a 3D sign. I'm going to use these scrap pieces of paint sticks that I had. These are the larger ones, the 25-gallon ones. I keep the scrap pieces because for these things like this, you can easily use. I'm going to wood glue and brad nail them together, and this is just going to hold the two boards together. And then clean off some of that excess wood glue because, you know, I can't seem to like not put enough glue. I add so much. Anyways, once I had the boards all set, I'm going to give it one coat of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the Coastal Blue and then let it fully dry. Now I'm going to sand down pretty heavily the edges of the board. And at first I thought maybe not too much. And then I was like, oh, let's do it a little heavier. It's not heavy distress. It's more of a medium distress, mainly focusing on the edges as well as the middle because it just has, that plank look. And I just wanted to make that stand out. So I dusted it off and cleaned it off. And I'm going to take one of these family wooden words from the Target dollar spot. They're $3. And I am going to wood glue and brad nail it to the center of the board. Again, keeping it a little bit of a slant style. I don't know why I like to slant my words, but I just think it looks better than straight. Not too much of a slant, but a little bit. These are the 1-inch brad nails that I'm using here. And in this case, I ended up not filling in the holes because I felt like it added to the, I don't know. What do you think? Let me know. Then I added some nautical rope from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to staple it to the back, and that's where we can hang it from. I'm going to add some flowers here from Dollar Tree. Some of this orange, it's like a burnt orange. It's beautiful. A little yellow one that I had for a while. Actually, my daughter recommended that I used this little tiny one, and I thought it was perfect. And then I'm going to use a pine cone once again, just to kind of keep everything in the same kind of family. And hot glue it there to the center, and then one more of those Dollar Tree picks that I cut off of a larger pick, and I'm just going to place it there on the other side. And then I'm going to use one of those tiny little white acorns and hot glue it there. And that finished it off, guys. Look how stunning this looks. This really finished off my little vignette that I am doing today. I think these items are very trendy, very cool looking, and they're so inexpensive. But let me know in the comments which one is your favorite. I like them all. But if I had to choose, I think the pumpkin is my favorite. But let me know. If you're visiting for this first time, thank you so much for coming by. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you consider joining our YouTube family. If you are returning, thank you so much for coming back. I truly appreciate your time. I'm going to have another video here with tons more of inspiration for you. Check it out. I'll see you later and have a blessed day. Bye.